like you were saying, like we were saying before, a generation of being narcissistic. While that's still prevalent, I think there are a lot of millennials that are noticing that I can't find all the answers by myself. And so they're searching, and we've talked before about there's a lot of millennials who are going back to liturgical churches, and they're finding a lot of meaning in that. So my question is, if they're looking for that, what is it that millennials are needing from the church? And there's a lot of churches that aren't providing that, very surface level churches, and they're not finding the meaning there, so they're going back to the liturgical churches. So what is it that they're really looking for from the church?
Well, it's a great question, because 38% of millennials want nothing to do with Jesus. When I'm going to suggest to you that even though that's what the stats say, that 38% of millennials want nothing to do with the Jesus of American evangelicalism, which has misrepresented the gospel, misrepresented the deeper questions, and has offered a technique of life that has nothing to do with sharing the life of the Godhead. And so I'm personally not persuaded that 38% of the millennials don't want Jesus. What I am persuaded of is that they're tired of what has been called church. And so the question becomes, what is the church? And then I think we don't even know who God is. I mean, why is Jesus the only way? Well, that's a question. That's a great question. However, it's rooted in a misunderstanding of what it means to be a follower of Jesus, because the only real God is the Father of the only real Son that God has. And so that God is the only God worth following, because he's the truth. However, we don't know how to talk about that anymore, because we have turned salvation into a technique, how to be born again, how to do this, how to do that. And we've so mechanized it and concretized it that it's no longer about sharing in the life of the triune God. I can't even be a person without the persons of the Godhead. So we don't even have those kind of conversations, but those are the kind of conversations millennials want to have, which is the reason they're going back to liturgical settings where, when I say out with the old and in with the older, they're finding meaning in liturgy because there's a structure, there is a creedal confession, there is a mystery. All the answers aren't there because faith is a mystery. And when you remove mystery, all you've got is a rational narrative, which is what we've had for 2 centuries, and it doesn't work.